Hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and this is the Good Timekeeping Show with Greg Anderson. Today, a couple of watches I want to show you, Forester watches. This one is the FT500WC-1BV. This one over here is the FT500WC-5BV. And there's one other version out there which has kind of it's almost like a combination of the two. A lighter face and kind of a darker case and watch band, but those are kind of the three versions of this that you might see around. Very affordable. I found these at a local Walmart store, normally about $20 each, and for some strange reason, they had them at a clearance price at this Walmart store. They were offering these for $5 each. So I'm like, oh yes, obviously, of course, I have to get these and show them to the folks watching my YouTube channel. So it's pretty simple stuff here. What you're looking at is, the three-hand analog watch, okay, with a little date window. And then the only other thing that kind of stands out here is a light. And I'll show you in just a moment just how effective the light is on either of these watches, in low light conditions. But let's take a look here as well. This is kind of a Velcro watch band on each of these Forester watches. So, easy to adjust there. Whatever your wrist size is, just fold it over. And there you go. And with this one over here, same deal, just different colors. Okay, so it's a little bit on the smaller size as far as, the size of the face. Let me just show you what this looks like on me. I have about a 7.5 inch wrist. So, hang on, gotta put that little piece back on there. Okay, where were we? All right, so just put this through here, pull it like that, and okay, there I go. Not too bad, from this perspective. Again, it's a little bit on the smaller size, smaller than, say, something like this, but it doesn't look unusually small, doesn't look awkwardly small there. So not a bad way to go to wear this. A nice rugged outdoorsy looking watch. Now, if this is your brand new watch, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure it's set to the right time, of course. And one thing you can do, if I wait till this second hand gets right up straight to the 12 o'clock position, I can stop the second hand by pulling out this crown. So let's see if I can get the timing just right on that. And there I go. There's actually two positions on this crown. So when you pull it out all the way, that's for setting the hands. And it does stop the second hand while you're doing that. Some people call that hackable. So at this point, I can advance it, and I may not know, especially if it's a brand new watch that I just got, whether it's showing AM or PM. So the easiest way to figure that one out is to advance it here. And as I go past 11 o'clock, if the date starts to advance, that means it's PM. And when I get up here to midnight, it has already advanced to the next date, and now I know this is AM. Well, the actual time as I'm recording this is closer to 4:42 p.m. So if I want to set this to exactly the right time, all I have to do is take it around. See, I just passed all the AM times, and now I'm into PM. So I'm going to take it up to 4:42. And when it gets lined up exactly right, the minute hand right there, and I click in, and now it's running again. So oh, you know what though? Casio does recommend that in order to get this right, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go beyond the actual time by about 4 or 5 minutes and then back it up to where it was. So I didn't quite do it right there, but that gives you the basic idea of how that goes. Now, of course, the date is wrong now. So what I do is I pull this crown out just one click. And when I pull it out one click, it doesn't stop the time from advancing, but it does allow me, if I turn this clockwise, to advance the date. And so, 7 months out of the year, every month is going to have 31 days, but on 5 of those months each year, you're going to have less than 31 days. So when I get to the end of a month that does not have 31 days, I can just pull that crown out one click and then advance going clockwise here to the first day of the month again. So otherwise, on most of the months, I don't have to do that. But again, if it's February, April, June, September, and November, then I'm going to have to advance that when I reach a new month. So again, right now, the actual date right now as I'm recording this is the 25th. So I'm just going to advance it here. And as soon as I get to the 25th, I'm good to go. And push that in. And that's all I need to do. It's going to run. This should run with an accuracy of within 20 seconds a month, although most folks have reported that it's much more accurate than that, down to it's at least twice that good. So an accuracy of, say, 10 seconds a month, or better than 10 seconds a month. That's what a lot of people are experiencing. I'm still not sure exactly. Maybe I'll do just an accuracy test for the month of, say, the upcoming month, and then let it run for a full month, and I'll tell you how accurate it is at the close of that month. But yeah, there you go. Now, I should show you the back of it. Okay, pretty straightforward. I love that Forester logo there that's kind of stamped into the back of the watch there. Here you can see it's module 5405, and you can look up the manual on Casio's website if you really want to. Water resistant to 100 meters or 10 bar. That's great. Stainless steel back. A Japan movement cased in China. So there's everything you need to know about it right there. 4 screws to hold this back on. So when it's time to change the batteries, you can just take those 4 screws off and reach there. I haven't changed the batteries on this one, but when I do, maybe I'll make a video about that. It's a little bit unique in that this has 2 batteries inside. There's one battery for just the clock movement part of it, and another battery that's just for the light part of it. So a lithium battery for the light, and then a silver oxide battery for the clock movement. And they should last about 3 years if they, if one of them lasts better than the other. They do recommend that when it's time to change the batteries, you want to replace them both at the same time. So even if, the light battery is just fine, you should change it at the same time that you're changing the movement battery. You'll know that the movement battery has lost power when it doesn't keep time accurately anymore. And you'll know that the light battery has lost power when it no longer lights up. They think that the light battery will last about 3 years if you use it for about 9 seconds per day. So I know some days it's going to be less than that. Some days it's going to be more than that. Now there is an alternative method to setting the time and date on here. And so what some people suggest is you pull this out, one click, and then you advance it to the day before the actual date that you're trying to set it to. So in this case, I set this to the 24th. Okay, and then if I want to synchronize the second hand, I'll wait till that gets up to the 12 o'clock position, and then I'll pull the crown out all the way to that second position. So this may be one way to avoid any difficulty. You're not supposed to set the date in between the hours of 9 and 1 because you don't want to be adjusting this when the watch itself might be trying to advance the mechanism for that. So in this case, I've set it to the 24th, which is yesterday's date. And whether or not this is AM or PM, all I have to do now is advance the time, bring it around, and as soon as I see the date change, then I'll know it's set to the AM hours. So here I go. Okay, there it's changing. So now I know that it's, the morning of the 25th as far as this watch is concerned. I'm going to set it ahead now to the PM hours because the actual time right now as I'm doing this is about 4:48 p.m. So here I go. And this time I'm going to do it right. I'm going to go about 4 or 5 minutes beyond, and then I'm going to back it up to, well, by now it's 4:49. So I'm going to get that pointed as well as I can to being right at 4:49, and then I'm going to check my atomic time source here, and as soon as this gets up to 4:49 exactly, I will push that crown all the way back in. Okay, and I think there you go. Hey, that looks really good. That looks like perfectly synchronized. So there I go, and of course the same instructions hold for this other version. The only difference here is that it's a different color, but all the functions and features are otherwise the same on this other version of the Forester. In fact, let me just show it off and show you all the angles on this black one, just so you can say, oh yeah, I kind of like that one, or I like the other one, or just whatever you think. And again, it's, you might want to be careful with this little part here. if that might have a tendency to fall off. You don't want to lose that in the middle of the forest. But what I can do is just kind of, all right, get that started and put it on my wrist there. Just a quick little Velcro adjustment there. And twist that around. And there we go. That's a smart looking watch on my, average size wrist. Now at this point you might be wondering, how effective is the light? This is a button on the side of the watch there, and see, with the dark face, maybe not the best light in the world, but not too bad. It stays on for a few seconds. And then with this lighter face, I think that's much more effective. I think you could see that pretty well. I like the way it just kind of fades out. And actually the light will stay on for as long as you hold it. So if I were to hold this down and just keep on holding, it's just going to stay on. I think that's a nice feature. And then after I let go, it takes about 4 seconds for it to just kind of fade out. There isn't any glow-in-the-dark material on the hands or anywhere on the face, so keep that in mind. It doesn't glow in the dark, but that backlight, it works pretty well. So there they are, and I think these are watches that, because of the size, actually are pretty good size for men, women, or children. It's just a nice all-around watch, and just looks so outdoorsy and nice. And well, I hope I've given you a little bit of information if you decide you want to get one. All right, so that's all for now, and I hope you will join me again soon for yet another episode of the Good Timekeeping Show.